Chesapeake Bay Watershed is made up of 6 states, including Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and Delaware. The Chesapeake Bay Watershed is very important for many reasons. One of the most important reasons is that our watershed is home to many species. When our water and air become polluted, it can negatively affect many species in the bay. To explain more about the watershed and how we can help it is Mr. Patrick Stevens, a 6th grade science teacher at Halliwells Middle School.
Well, the watershed is a area. It's a landmass. The Chesapeake Bay watershed is 64,000 square miles and encompasses 6 different states and the District of Columbia. So think of it as a large bathtub. Every drop of water that goes into the Chesapeake Bay watershed sooner or later will end up in the Chesapeake Bay. Well, lots of problems come with this watershed. 17 million people live in the Chesapeake Bay area, and that's a lot of developments. There's a lot of car pollution, there's a lot of air pollution, there's a lot of runoff from houses, from farms, and all that runoff eventually will end up in the Chesapeake Bay.
To explain more about the school and how it was built is Mr. Don Porter, the chief architect of Halliwells.
A lot of the things are hidden in the building. You can't see as much inside the building as you might think you would. We have higher insulating values on the walls and in the roof to help the energy efficiency of the systems. We have a very efficient mechanical system that it really helps reduce your energy use. There are 22 micro retention facilities around the site, and these micro retention facilities are little swales that help treat runoff, rainwater runoff, before it gets down into the aquifer, before it goes down and recharges the water system.
To explain more about energy use at Halliwells, we spoke to Sheila Planks, the Energy Program Manager from Montgomery County Public Schools facilities.
My name is Sheila Plank. I am the Energy Manager for MCPS, meaning that I oversee our close to $40 million budget and get involved as project manager for large projects such as the solar that you have on your building and the 4 other buildings that we did this year.
Halliwells has many features that help reduce the environmental impact, such as a geothermal loop and solar panels to reduce energy use.
So what that is it's a very sophisticated heat pump system. And what that does is it's a closed loop that goes underground because the ground temperature stays around 45-50 degrees. So instead of having to heat the water that goes through the heating system here, it only has to heat it a little bit instead of heating it a lot. So that's the difference on why this is so special, because we don't need to use as much energy to heat or cool that water because it works in reverse in the summer. The ground temperature is much cooler than the outdoor temperature. So that's why a ground source heat pump is a great idea for places like this, because it keeps them both heated and cooled for less cost.
In 2018, MCPS installed over 150 solar panels on the roof of Halliwells.
MCPS has 17 schools right now with solar panels. We did 8 in 2008, 2009. We did 4 in 2015, and we did 5 this year.
It is estimated that the LED lighting, the geothermal heating system, and solar panels will save MCPS over $150,000 per year. 72% of water pollution comes from coal-fired power plants. Having these features help to reduce energy use and reduce the amount of pollution entering the watershed. So what can students do here at Halliwells to support the Chesapeake Bay watershed?
Well, what I like to think of is what can we do locally, even though we're treating a problem that's much larger than us. So things that we could do: we could walk to school, we could ride our bikes instead of driving a car to the store. We don't use plastic bottles, we use reusable bottles. So things that we can do at our homes to help the Chesapeake Bay.